Hello, welcome to the Better Man Show. I'm your host, John Matus. This is episode 1, and this show's about me becoming the best version I can of myself. I had an epiphany about 6 months ago, and I decided that I wasn't just going to become the best version of myself physically, but also in business, relationships, and every other thing. There's so much I want to do, but I know that the basis, the foundation of what we're going to do has to start with fitness and health. So I've spoken to 3 coaches. We're with coach number 1 today. His name is Morentin, and I've known Al. Yes, I've known Al since high school, and he's an amazing guy. The more you get to know him, the more you're going to love him. But I've known him, like I said, since high school, and he's really been into fitness all of his life. His mother was into nutrition and fitness, got him started at an early age. And one thing that happened in his life that kind of led him to this path was when he was about 12 years old, he was told by the doctors that he was going to lose his sight because of glaucoma. And from that moment on, instead of just accepting the inevitable, he just made it his quest to become the person that is not going to fall into this hole where he's losing his eyesight. He's going to find a way to fix that issue. And he did it through nutrition, through exercise. And the guy turned into like a scientist. He went through trial and error. He used all kinds of different experiments on different products and different foods, and actually saved his eyesight. And in the process, saved a whole bunch of other people that had different ailments other than eyesight and vision issues. So Al, I know you're a professional power lifter. You're a nutritionist. You're an author. What else can you say about yourself?
Oh, well, thank you for having me on the show, John, and welcome to all the listeners. So you pretty much have it in a nutshell. I'm the owner founder of My Fit Life. That's the company that I have, and we're a holistic health and wellness company. And I did go blind. Got my vision back with cannabis oils and some other holistic methods. And then I help people all over the country overcome and manage a bunch of conditions and get in the best shape of their lives, mentally, physically, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So, one of the reasons that I brought you on first is because, I'm not comfortable doing this. I've never done a podcast before. I'm not really happy with the shape that I'm in right now. And that's kind of why we got started, right? I was helping my daughter's volleyball team. We needed an extra person on the court. I jumped out there and kind of embarrassed myself, right? I've always considered myself an athlete throughout my life. I was the guy that everyone called if they had a softball team or a basketball team and they needed that guy on their team. And I'm just not that guy anymore. I know I'm not young, but I'm also not old. And it was funny because after that happened, you were the first guy I called. And then I called, several of my other old coaches and teammates because I needed that hug, over the phone because I just felt terrible. And every one of you get emotional, but every one of you said you can get me back to where I was, and that's why I'm here, right? Because I trust you guys. So it's great that you guys aren't just coaches; you're my friends.
That's awesome. Yeah, John, for sure. And thanks for having me as the person to help to build the foundation, to launch everything else out on, right? So
and people are gonna have to get used to me crying because I'm worse than Dick Vermeil, right? I cry a lot. I'm a crybaby, but it's just great to know that you're in my corner.
That's awesome. Yeah. So I'm excited to work with you, and we've grown up with each other, like you said, and we've worked with each other in the past and stuff like that, like many years ago. So and the path that we're going to take, basically, because you had asked me about that, before we started recording with. So the path that I think that is best for you to take is to actually build a foundation, that you could, improve upon and, blossom from and all that kind of good stuff. Right. And not just like jump in, to things and, because anybody can sort of like drive you into the ground and like make you feel like you're doing stuff, but to actually build it, to actually build strength and stability and, both physically and mentally, that's very, very important. And it's a thing that people skip a lot of the times. They skip over because it's not as exciting. It's, it actually is boring, but it's what gets people to be ultra successful. I remember Kobe, like he would do 3-a-days all the time, even, till the day he died almost, because he knew that those extra practices, would make him better, not this one technique or this one pair of shoes, but actually just doing. Right. So so with your fitness and your stuff like that, I would like to get like a baseline of where you're at. So we'll probably talk off camera and get that, like a physical assessment, and like how you're eating, and the supplements that you're currently taking, and then we'll just make like a chart for you, like a chart of progress, basically, or a roadmap, or whatever you want to call it, of how to get to, from where you are to where you want to be, within the 6 or 8 weeks that we're gonna be together. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I kind of like that approach because being in sports, and after that being a coach, fundamentals are everything, right? Everything works off of fundamentals, and it's not like I'm not doing anything, but I'm doing everything at like kindergarten level, right? So I mean, I get up every morning at 5. I'm at the gym at 5:30, but I do the same routine that I've done for 30 years, right? Chest on Mondays, back on Wednesdays, leg on Fridays, right? And then Saturday go hiking or something, right? So I'm going through the motions, not getting the results I want at all. And so that's why I'm coming to you, and then the other coaches, will come after you. But I wanted to start off with you because, like I said, fundamentals, foundation, Morentin, and like I said, I'm gonna experiment for all of you guys, right? You're gonna have me for 6 to 8 weeks. I'm gonna do whatever you tell me. I'm gonna eat whatever you tell me. I'm not gonna eat whatever you not tell me. I'm gonna be like your lab animal, and I know you're gonna get me to where I want to be.
Awesome. Yeah, for sure. Yep. And so when we do talk, and do your assessments and stuff like that, which will be in a couple of days, then I want you to think about like what success looks like too, right? Like suppose like 8 weeks from today, what does success look like to you? Like how you will have been successful with me, right? So I could know, and have a goal to with you, right?
Right.
And then so that just takes a little bit, that's just a basic assessment to get that baseline. And then one of the greatest things, as just from knowing me, for building a foundation and actually just like stripping you down to like day one of a computer, like I like to say, resetting and reformatting your internal hard drive kind of a thing, is our 21-day reset. So that's going to be a big part of it. It's a cleansed in and detoxification program, but it goes from mild to wild, sort of, it's easy to do in, and it's a little bit more involved, and there's a couple different levels, but what it basically does is it does that for you both mentally and physically, like just like back in the old days, putting that disk clean in the computer, and so it does that for you. It gets your body running on all cylinders, your mind running on all cylinders, your hormones functioning, and like all the systems that produce the hormones, like it starts producing them, in the amounts that they need to be produced at, all of them, instead of doing like a hormone replacement therapy from somewhere, where it's just one single hormone or a couple of them or something. It's you get your body to function properly and do that for you. All these different things happen. It's super cool. But the other thing that happens with the 21-day reset is it turns you into a fat burning machine too, right? So that's a big deal for most people on the planet. Like very few don't want to lose fat. There's one of the things with, we'll just get into it real quick of why it does that is, the little lesson for the day, I guess you would say, is fat traps toxins. Like we live in a toxic world, like more toxic than ever, from the food we eat, the air we breathe, the water we drink, all the our chemicals, our chemicals, but the cleaning agents that we have, from the stuff that we put on us to the stuff that we wash our dishes with. It's all filled with crazy amounts of chemicals, and all those chemicals are toxins. You hear about toxins and toxic overload and all this. Those toxins, when they're inside your body doesn't want them to go through your bloodstream, so they get trapped in your fat cells, and or your body actually traps them in your fat cells on purpose and accumulates them there, and then it wants to hold on to them and not release for any reason, but also it won't let you release anything from the fat cell, including fat. So you can't lose fat. You can't lose any fat weight. You can lose water weight, but the fat weight won't. You can't mobilize the fat, and that's what the 21-day reset does. It mobilizes toxins from your body. So that means that the toxins have to be released from the fat cells. So it tricks your fat cells into releasing the toxins, and then it's able to release the fat on top of that for energy, and then you become a fat burning machine. Boom.
Good. That's great. I could become a fat burning machine and just instead of just a fat machine, right?
Yeah, and that happens in the 21 days.
That's great, man. Because I'm looking at this as a long-term deal, right? That's why we're starting with this foundation. And me back in the old days when when I used to cut weight, it was either for a season or it was for an event or it was for something. And that process was basically waiting till noon to eat an apple, and then I'd get like a hamburger patty and a piece of cheese at night, and then find the plastics and run all night, right? And I would do that till we got to where we needed to be. But I like the process that you're going to clean me out, get my body working so that it works efficiently, and like I said, setting that foundation where we need to go to get to me where I want to be.
Yeah. So that we're able to optimize your nutrition and your supplementation from there, because it literally brings you back down to zero. And it's almost like without being an elimination diet, it almost is that, to where you're eating very few things at towards the end. And so as you add things in, if you act good or bad to them. And the same thing with supplements and things like that. You understand if you really need them or not from the new nutrition that you're getting in from the new style of eating that you have, right? And then on the other end of that is the fitness side, right? So, we're going to sort of do, or we are going to do foundation building with that too. Okay. So it's because that's another thing where people want to jump in, and they, even when you had the brick and mortar place, with the MyFitLife, I could do more, on people's first day and first week or whatever. And it's like, you can, but should you, and is it going to get you better results? Even if you didn't get injured, because of it, not today, but down the road, from an overuse injury or some kind of thing, that is it going to get you any kind of better results, which it most oftentimes doesn't. So you start off with a foundation building routine as far as the fitness as well, and it helps to it'll help build muscle for sure, right? Because you're working out, you're doing resistance, and and that builds muscle. But it also helps to get at least the way I do it, it helps to build that mind muscle connection, so you get better results no matter what you're doing, right? Because you could turn anything into a workout, even walking. It's really, really cool. It teaches you how to get balance in the muscles, so you look like better. Your posture is way better, which also makes you look better. And then the balance also is better on your joints too, because of the even pull. And then it also is designed to strengthen the stabilizers, the deeper muscles that surround your joints, right? Like in your ankles, your knees, hips, your elbows, your shoulders, your trunk. They all have different stabilizers, like all around your spine. They all have different stabilizers that people don't really think about, and there's specific little exercises that can be done, or little thought processes during an exercise that can be done to actually build and strengthen those, so you don't get injured when you're doing ancillary things like MMA or running through a field and having to jump down and do whatever, all the adventurous stuff that you're going to be doing, and then and even if you did get a little whatever, like you step off a rock or something, instead of rolling your ankle, you just your mind muscle link just automatically kicks in, and you either don't get injured or get like a little slight thing where you just put a little rub on there and you're good to go, instead of getting taken out for 2 weeks or something, or a month. Right. So does that make all sense?
Yeah, that makes great sense, because I've tried everything before, and you get to those boot camp things where they just kind of torture you for 5 days, and you're like, screw this, man, I'm out of here. So I like the idea that we're going to set the foundation and do things the right way. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's the key that everybody misses, and even my sister is a good example. She's she's a little bit older than us, as but this is about 10 years ago though, so she was closer to our age back then that we are now. And she joined a boot camp, and through Groupon or whatever, because she called herself a bottom feeder, like she just goes out.
yeah.
So she, her her and her friend go out there and they they start that thing, and a friend quits after the first day. So screw this, too hard. And my sister's an animal, and I'm like, better be careful. You should do some stuff first. But I got this, and sure enough, like after like a week and a half, boom, injured. So
yeah. We had the same deal at the company that I was with a while ago. They thought that would be a great present for everybody for Christmas, was they would give them 4 months at a boot camp, right? And so everyone's like, yeah, let's go. And after like 2 weeks, it was like, you'd walk into the office and it was like you're walking into like a battle hospital. People were all wrapped up. It smelled like Ben Gay in there. People were crying. It was horrible, But that boot camp company made a crap load of money, and no one went longer than 3 weeks, right? Because everyone was dead. So yeah,
it's crazy. So that's why we do that, because it's a proven system. Like I've been, as you mentioned, I've been around forever. Just with the 21-day reset alone, there over 10,000 people have gone through it in person. Plus a few thousand online over the past couple of years, a few years, whatever. But with the 21-day reset, I guess it'd be cool for you to explain a little bit about what it is. Would you want to know a little deeper what it is?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think I did it with you probably, maybe 16 years ago, 15 years ago, maybe. Back when you had My Fit Life in Fullerton, near where we lived before you moved out of state. And by the way, that was the coolest gym ever, man. I used to love going there. That was just a great place. But yeah, so I did the 21-day reset, and probably not as focused as I'm going to be now, because I had other stuff going on. But now it's just, I got an idea of what it's like, and now I know how it works. And but just kind of go into it like, from the first week on.
Yeah. So the 21-day reset is a little workbook back here. It's a guided program. You meet every week to understand what to do for the upcoming week, right? So all you have to worry about is that week. You don't worry about like what you're going to do like on day 20. Like, I can't do that. Like, just worry about today. It's almost like Alcoholics Anonymous or one of those kind of programs where it's
21-step program,
one day at a time, right? That's what it is, right? So that's all you focus, or like yoga, being in the moment, kind of a thing, and that's what, so you learn that mindfulness inside of the program, as long as you let yourself, do that, and it starts out. It's all throughout the whole 21 days. There's no meat and no dairy and no caffeine and no alcohol. Okay, so those 4 things. So no intoxicants, kind of thing, and no intoxicants, no stimulants, and like and no meat and no dairy. The no meat and no dairy isn't because like like meat and dairy is the devil or anything like that. It's because they're hard to digest, and there's we're trying to give your digestive system a rest, so that energy could be used to heal and build your immune system and do all kinds of other stuff in your body that's amazing that happens to you in the 21-day reset. But the only way to do that is to give your digestive system a rest, and meat and dairy take up a huge amount of digestion, and digestion is the biggest amount of energy that's used in your body, period, for anything, right? So you take that off the plate, whether it's grass-fed, 100% grass-finished, all that kind of stuff, or not, which most of it's not. But even if you had that, you still wouldn't be eating that, right? For those specific reasons. And then but it's only 21 days, So to take a step back a little bit, this is a 21-day reset. It's not a diet or a lifestyle or anything like that. Like most of the diets out there are fads. They're gimmicks. The keto, the carnivore, the even vegan and all kinds of stuff like that. Like, which I'm actually vegan, whatever. But all that stuff is more of a fad and a gimmick than a lifestyle, right? And a lifestyle is something that you're on. It's something that you are, something that you become, and the diet's something that you're on or off of, and that's not the way and that's not sustainable for a life, right? Like you need to build a lifestyle. However, the 21-day reset is something you're on or off of. It is not a diet. It is a pattern interrupt that actually get that resets and reformats your internal hard drive so you can operate at the utmost optimal levels, right? you do that by going through this process. It's proven, like I said, over 10,000 people just by me.
Right.
It's based off of the naturopathic principles of cleansing and detoxification, which are hundreds of years old. But and then I just put my nutritional spin on it and all this different stuff. So that first week is just removing the meat and dairy, basically, and processed foods. The next week is a little bit more intense kind of a thing, because you're doing more uncooked foods, right? So it's more raw plant-based stuff. And then on the third week, you're doing more juiced and blended stuff, right?
Okay.
So it's so that's more of the fasting kind of a week, but it's like a juice fast, and they call it a juice feast, but there's still a ton of nutrition in there from the smoothies and from the juices, so you're still able to function, and you can still work, and you can still do all these things. You also have energy. It's another reason why we do the foundation building workout during this time as well, because you don't want to do extra stuff, because you can still work out, you can still do all this stuff, but like you don't want to, okay, I'm going to run a marathon during the 21-day reset. I schedule each other apart from, they don't have to be done at the same time, but sometimes people do that. They just want to do everything all at once,
Right.
So, so the foundation building workout is perfect for the 21-day reset, because there are certain things that can happen that we'll talk about, like, as you get more into the program and stuff like that. But that's the basic gist of it. Each week sets you up for the next. You only learn like what you're going to do for that week, and there's meal plans provided, and there's no like calorie counting or anything like that, and you're just sort of paying attention to the hunger fullness levels. But other than that, it's just a matter of following the principles.
I remember that when I did it last time, you had some pretty good recipes in there too.
Yeah. There's six. Yeah, for the 21 days, there's 63 recipes, 3 for each day. So smoothies and different kinds of stuff, and you don't have to do every single one of them. Like just as long as they fit in the parameters of that week, then you're good, kind of a thing. But yeah, so like you mentioned earlier, there's toxins everywhere. Every breathe, the water we drink, the food we eat. And even the clothes, all that kind of, everywhere. And people are talking about the forever chemicals now, those PFAS, the PFAS, and the microplastics, and then there's the genetically modified foods. There's all the metals, all these different things going on, right?
Yeah, my family's terrified to eat anything or drink anything. It's just
where
do you start, man?
Yeah, so it's so there's toxins everywhere, and you get this thing called toxic overload, and it's why we need to have a cleanse or detox periodically, like preferably once a year. Some people do them with the changing of the seasons, like 4 times a year, or whenever they feel they need them and stuff like that. But there's a certain ability your body has. There's filtration systems like your kidneys, your liver, etc., that are able to filter out toxins. But if you get more toxins than the system's able to filter through, then you're going to build them, right? And it gets to a certain point where there's an overload, and they can't be trapped into certain areas anymore, and they just spill over into your bloodstream, and then you go into crazy amounts of sickness and disease. And all these disease processes can happen in whatever you're susceptible to, whether it's cancer or diabetes or high blood pressure, heart disease. It'll manifest different ways, but it manifests. So the 21-day reset is designed to remove those toxins, so you don't go into those, get into ill health. It promotes optimal health. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So can you overload on supplements also? Can that become a bad thing too, or
can you take too many? Well, or get
are the wrong ones?
Can you get a toxic overload of supplements? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
The man-made ones, yeah. If it's like minerals and things like that, like vitamin A. Vitamin A is from animals, basically, or it's man-made in the lab, and you can get a toxic overload of that.
Okay.
But beta carotene, which is a plant-based version of vitamin A, you cannot get a toxic overload of that. So your body can turn beta carotene into vitamin A. Not 100% of it, but it can turn it in there. But if you're like to eat like 100 carrots a day or something like that has beta carotene in it, then your skin might turn a little bit orange because of the pigmentation from the carrots, but you won't get a toxic overload of vitamin A and get sick.
Okay.
And there's a bunch of like disease mimicking things that could happen from vitamin A. Too much vitamin A, just like too much iron. So same thing with iron. Like iron is another mineral, and the man-made minerals and the ones that are like gotten from rocks and things like that, or from dirt. You hear that a lot too. Like I got it from this clay or whatever, and those ones are usually just like iron from a piece of iron or something, right? And those ones your body cannot digest, because they have to be digested by a plant first.
Right.
You've probably maybe heard of colloidal minerals.
Yes.
And so that's what a colloidal mineral is. It's been the minerals have been taken up from the soil or whatever substance that the plant is in, and digested through photosynthesis and all that, by the plant, and now it exists in the plant. But when you eat that plant or that plant matter or the mineral is harvested from that plant, and you take it in a supplement, then your body is able to digest it and utilize it because it was gone through that photosynthesis process, and it's a colloidal mineral now. So your body can actually absorb it and utilize it.
Okay. So you're talking about, me putting together a list of supplements that I'm taking now. So, I like that MSM that you gave me, and then also the Sheila G. Am I going to be able to continue to take that stuff on your program, or should I just like shut down everything and just do the food stuff?
Yeah, you'll be able to do that. Those things. Yeah, because they're natural. They're exactly that. Like the Sheila G is plant-based minerals. From plant matter that's thousands of years old. It's harvested. It's crazy. Harvested 18,000 feet above sea level, and above pollution and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, all that stuff's essential.
Okay.
For sure. But yeah, that getting the toxins out, and and turning it into fat burning machine. That's the main goal, and building the foundation, getting your joints strong. Getting the one of the cool things that's going to happen too is that like your mental focus just gets so much greater, and like you're able to see things clearer, and I
remember that from the first time I was on it, because I was thinking, man, I'm going to be the grumpiest guy in the world, man. I'm not going to be able to eat what I like to eat. But it was kind of like the complete opposite. By the middle of the second week, I felt great, and I was happy. I could sleep, the way I'm supposed to. Everything was cool at work. I mean, it was great. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to doing this. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, because like I just as like a closing thoughts, I guess, whatever. Like people's like adrenal glands and different hormonal systems, especially, but there's just a bunch of systems in your body that get shut off. Sometimes it's a protective mechanism from your body. Sometimes it's a lack of nutrition, but they get shut off and you can't function properly, and they get turned back on, especially like adrenal glands and things like that. Like if you drink coffee or you're under a lot of stress, then those things get blown out. They don't function anymore, and those have everything to do with your sleep. So that's why your sleep gets better, and then you're able to handle things better too, because that's what that's what they're there for, to help you handle things better.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So your body's gonna work like it's supposed to, right?
Yeah. So yeah. So I'm looking forward to this, John.
Yeah, man. So thanks for coming out on my first show. I appreciate it, Al. We're on this, right?
Thank you for having me.
And everyone else, thank you for joining the Better Man Show. I'm your host, John Matus, coach number 1, Al Morentin. He'll be back with us again next week. And please tell your family and friends, and we'll see you at the next show. Thank you so much for coming.